Good morning. This is your 10 a.m. daily weather briefing. Still seeing some clouds around the area with some filtered sun coming through. Temperatures sitting in the mid 70s and still looking slightly breezy out there. Although we did just cancel the wind advisory, we'll keep a chance of having to reissue that as we move through the day, as those winds will stay just below or around that wind advisory threshold. Otherwise, the low end chance of precip we had earlier this morning looks to be just about diminished, but we'll see rain chances increasing as we get later in the day and more so into the evening. We take a look at the current surface analysis. Still have this boundary off to the north. It's going to slowly sink southward as we move through the day today and move through the area as a backdoor cold front this afternoon. Ahead of it, we'll see mild temperatures, dry weather, and then as that boundary pushes through, could see a chance of a rain shower with that, and we'll see those winds shifting out of the northeast and likely cool things off as we go into the evening. And then as we move into Saturday, we'll see that boundary lifting back north, bringing an additional increased shower chance this evening, as well as a chance of a few thunderstorms. And that boundary is really going to dictate the weather as we move over the next 24 hours. Looking at the upper level winds from this morning, sounding had some west-southwesterly winds near the surface, becoming westerly through the remainder of the column. Peak wind today was 72 knots at 25,000 feet, and the freezing level was at 12,200 feet. Take a look at the current visible satellite and composite radar here. We can see some of that shower activity that was to our north. A lot of that is weakened and dissipated in some areas. Still well northwest of the areas that's where that boundary is still set up. I did see some additional clouds earlier with some of that lower level cloud moving out at this time, seeing some breaks in the cloud cover there. But overall, will remain mostly cloudy through the day. We'll see overcast conditions as we move into the evening. We'll take a look at the high resolution model here, see how we can expect those, the next 48 hours to play out. Again, as mentioned, we'll see that boundary slowly sinking south, likely passing through the area as we get into the middle portion of the afternoon. That's when we'll see winds shifting for the later part of the afternoon. Still staying slightly breezy through the day, as mentioned. Could see a wind advisory reissued at some point throughout the day today. And as that boundary sinks through, that's when we'll see a chance of maybe a few light showers, as you can see the model here indicating some light radar returns passing through the area. And then do expect that boundary to sink further south to the southern part of the peninsula or southern Virginia before it starts to make its way back north as we move into the evening time frame. And that's when we're going to see the best chance of precipitation over the next 24 hours. As you can see here, model indicating some showers lifting with that boundary through the area, mainly as we get past 20 local, could be as late as midnight tonight and continuing through the morning hours, and likely seeing that lift out of the area as we get into the start of the day of Saturday. Can't rule out a slight chance of a lingering shower, as we do see some variance in the modeling of how this boundary acts over the next 24 hours. But moving into Saturday, we'll see warmer flow behind that boundary lifting through with as a warm front. So mild day once again for Saturday, but looks to be dry as we move through Saturday into Saturday evening. We'll really start to see the winds cranking up overnight Saturday into Sunday, and keeping clouds around, and then moving into the day on Sunday. Again, continued breezy conditions, likely seeing a wind advisory for Sunday ahead of the next boundary that looks to push through the area. Looks to be more potent with some upper level support with this one, and that's going to bring a good chance of showers and possibly some thunderstorm activity moving into the area. If we zoom out and look at the day on Sunday here with the European model, we'll see that boundary coming together and pushing through the area. Could see some showers as late afternoon, but most of the activity will push into the evening and during the overnight hours and into the early morning hours of Monday. And as you can see behind that, some lower thickness values will move into the area as we get behind this front. The European model does push most of the precip activity out by late Monday morning. GFS does linger some rain through the day, so we'll keep a chance of rain through the day on Monday. But behind this, we'll see cooler temperatures settle in as we move into the middle part of the week. We see that trough coming in over the region. Much lower thickness values. We'll see much cooler weather as we'll get back below seasonal averages for this time of year. But overall, breezy conditions through Tuesday, and high pressure settles in with a cool high overhead. We'll see, again, below average temperatures, but dry weather and fairly quiet weather as we move towards the end of the week, possibly seeing another disturbance moving through with a return to more seasonable temperatures for the late week and into the weekend. So as we look at the 24-hour weather risk chart for today, did have that yellow risk for precip this morning. That looks to be about diminished. Yellow for those winds that are above 25 knots. As we did a wind advisory earlier, do expect a chance of seeing the wind advisory as we move through the remainder of the day, but expecting those peak gusts to stay in the low 20s, possibly exceeding that at times, particularly as that backdoor front pushes through. Westerly winds 9 to 14 knots sustained, gusting to 21, 22 knots, possibly seeing those again higher as that boundary shifts the winds out of the northeast, 7 to 12 knots, with gusts up to 22 later this afternoon. We'll see our high of 77 today, and then behind that front, cooler marine air pushes in, dropping down to 66 by the time we get into the later part of the afternoon. We do pick up another yellow risk for precip as we pass the 15 local time frame with that boundary. Could see a chance for some light rain moving through. That continues till about 20 local. We increase to an orange risk with a better chance of those rain showers moving into the area as that boundary lifts back north. We do also pick up a yellow risk for some lightning chances, as we'll keep about a 10% chance prior to 20 local and after 16 local, and then increasing to a 20% chance as we get past 20 local this evening with that initial round of showers pushing through. We'll also see some reduced ceilings and visibilities with that, so keeping that yellow chance for that through the early morning hours of Saturday. Tides are running normal, and Saturday we'll see, again, another fairly mild day with a high of 70 degrees, mostly cloudy, chance of maybe a lingering light shower early and possibly some low clouds and maybe a light sprinkle as we move through the day, but overall should see dry conditions. Yellow risk for that chance of low clouds early on. Otherwise, we'll see decreasing clouds late in the day and mild and slightly breezy. Saturday evening, we'll see partly cloudy conditions, increasing winds becoming breezy, so we do pick up a yellow risk for winds that are above 25 knots and could see a slight chance for some low clouds around the area during the early morning hours of Sunday as well, a low around 60 degrees, and then another very mild day for Sunday with a high around 78 degrees. Overall, partly cloudy through much of the day with some increasing clouds ahead of that next boundary pushing through, and that's when we'll see a chance of showers and a slight chance of a thunderstorm late in the day on Sunday. Do have a yellow risk for precip and lightning here, as we do expect a bulk of that activity to fall past this time frame and more so into the evening. We do have a red risk for winds at or above 25 knots, likely seeing a wind advisory with those breezy winds, possibly up to 30 knots, and then chance for that reduced ceilings and visibilities with that shower activity. If we look at the extended forecast here, again, looks to be about 70% chance of seeing some evening showers and thunderstorms into the morning of Monday, and continuing with a 20% chance through the remainder of the day on Monday with any lingering shower chances depending on how far that boundary pushes out of the area. Otherwise, another breezy day. Cooler temperatures, more seasonable with a high around 60 degrees, and then we start moving into some cooler than average temperatures into the midweek. We'll see partly to mostly cloudy conditions for Tuesday with a high around 55 degrees, breezy through the day on Tuesday, and then we'll see that breeze start to lighten up as we go into Wednesday and Thursday as high pressure moves in over the area. We'll keep our temperatures in the mid to lower 50s for our highs, possibly reaching freezing once again Tuesday evening into Wednesday, and then we'll see a return to more seasonable temperatures as we go into Thursday with possible rising thickness values and some partly to mostly cloudy skies ahead of what potentially could be the next rainmaker moving in for the later part of the week. That's going to wrap up the 8:15 daily operation, the 10 a.m. daily weather briefing. We'll be back again on Monday at 8:15 and 10 a.m. Enjoy the rest of your day.